Here we are then. Thank you for putting up with us as we get into the game. A little bit of a short delay, but the main thing is the action is here. forZe, of course, starting on that CT side. Espionage, it's their map pick. They kick things off with only a little bit of utility on Iceberg.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly little for Nuke, but throw it towards the door and maybe Lucky going for a quick main drop. A couple of teammates with him. Shalfey falls back and sees them running on by, but Mr. and Lucky with the opening frags. And this is the tease taking outside by force. Selter and Taneri left alone. Taneri taking a rough fight as he gets pushed on down. And Selter, the stand-in, is the only one standing.
Yeah, what an explosive pistol round for Espionage. And we're seeing this a lot more in Nuke outside. The involvement of using top main to get you into a very forward position, but taking CT spawn like that, wrapping in towards hell, it's incredibly unexpected. And it's the last thing that forZe are really ready for. They're caught off guard in positions that you can see the transition moving from top main, trying to account for that towards the back of credit card. Not ready for the sheer amount of players. And Espionage now even hunting for this last kill. They mean business here on their map pick. A solid start, only one casualty, and it's Lucky, the player we highlighted, kicking things off with a hat trick.
Yeah, what a really cool pistol round. I just love the chaos that they're bringing to the table. They can just tell that forZe's comms are probably all over the places. There's players running across the secret. There's some dropping towards main. Fights being taken left, right, and center. Espionage winning them all out. And as has become a bit of the norm, the CTs will force buy here. Actually managed to get 2 MP9s out. The lack of head armor could be an issue on 3 of these players, though. Or 2 of these players.
Yeah, definitely. You're also kind of saying to yourselves, okay, well, the AWP is going to be a little bit more delayed unless we pick up this round. But you're trying to apply pressure immediately. And look at this. Lobby push as a player scaled up. Gokushima having the fight. 5-7 versus AK. It's a little bit tricky. But whilst all this is going on, you see that Espionage are already climbing down in towards Secret. Smokes are up. Tanir has to rotate down. The defense, it's spread.
Yeah, it feels like forZe had the positional advantage here, though, just with all of the control they've got towards lobby. Espionage have T-spawn, a player in secret, and everyone else is stuck under the silo. The bomb included. And Shalfey had an opportunity, couldn't quite hit the 1 Gokushima is still hanging out here. He's looking for a timing. He can catch one of these AK players. It could cause issues in Espionage. They realize they have to start to put a bit of pace to it, have to take some control.
Yeah, this is good, though. They're all grouped. And that's the difference between Espionage and forZe right now. You got this 1-on-1 that's taking place, but suddenly it's a 4-on-1 down lower. Quez also wins out that fight, which gives his team a lot of control. The split between double doors and his control room window hasn't really panned out. And it feels like Espionage has still got the advantage. Result, though, will at least drop the bomb. Meaning that Shalfey, I mean, he's got still a massive task on his hands to try and reclaim the round. He's now just looking for damage, trying to hold on to his head armor. Top main won't be caught off guard. Quez, he's still here and still surviving.
Yeah, now, you know, the MAC-10 and the Galil can be upgraded to AKs. So for Espionage, it's actually the perfect situation. Because not only if you keep 3 alive, if you've got 3 AKs going into the next, but you've completely reset forZe's economy. So they are absolutely laughing their way to the bank here. And it felt like despite forZe getting all of the positional control there and kind of having all of the space, locking Espionage in, once they got it, it felt like they weren't exactly sure what to do next. You can see Gokushima was taking this prolonged, awkward fight on top of T roof. Shalfey's kind of looking for a deagle shot outside, but then they just had 1 player drop down lower. Resol gets there a little bit late, is able to get the double, but by that point, the rest of the team had already fallen. So I felt like they needed to be maybe a faster response once they had that control.
It's one of those things, and it's a difficult balancing act to manage, but you take space, and then it's like, okay, we can concede this. We understand that Espionage aren't here. We spotted them outside. They're going to feel trapped. The only way they can really go is in towards Secret. There was the right idea on the rotation. Selter already had the MP9, ready and raring to go down Secret, but he was completely isolated. If forZe had backed up, they'd moved as a unit, they'd enabled themselves to even have an opportunity to trade, it would have benefited them a hell of a lot more than what happened. And you're right, sure, they had the space initially, but they kept it for such a long time that it became redundant in the end.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, once you've got lobby, once you've scared them out of that space, start to just be a bit proactive. You don't have the better weaponry. You know you're up against rifles, so get those MP9s down in the vents. Get them into angles where you can easily trade off each other, create chaos, Don't allow Espionage to set pace. Unfortunately, doesn't unfold that way. Espionage now in a perfect position. So we get a little pause. Hopefully just a little incy pause, not a big pause. No one likes a big pause. Except maybe bears.
They do have big paws. That's brilliant. That really caught me off guard. Just gonna be the saved eagle for shalfey. It looks like Result will invest one as well. But yeah, again, it's kind of a similar buy, and we're further delaying the inevitable, it feels like, for forZe. Espionage, they've got all the AKs out in play. They know the money isn't going to be great in this round. So again, you kind of just follow the same philosophy. You keep everyone together, you make sure you're grouped, and you make sure that if you do walk into a stack, at least you've got a friend to trade you. Loving this out of Iceberg, because he's on that recon mission, taking these long-range fights with the AK-47, trying to see if he can spot anything outside, and currently, he's found nothing.
Equally, sending shalfey out towards Secret's great because he's got that deagle and armor. Chance he could potentially find an isolated fight over towards red or even onto Iceberg as he's tucked in towards dark. That's the way you get into this round, is by finding yourself a cheeky kill, getting an AK, restricting that space. Why is he looking that way? Anti-flash, I suppose. No one could come that way.
Also maybe waiting for, I was going to say a flash for top secret, but they don't have any utility here, forZe. I think they're just trying to hedge their bets. Main split coming through, but this is where the predominant nature of the stack lies, but it gets completely torn apart by the AKs. shalfey can't find anything. A very clean round of Counter-Strike for Espionage. They're playing the limited risk style of Counter-Strike, something we associate them a lot with. But now we get the AWP out in play. Now we get the full guns for forZe, and a little bit more of direction, perhaps.
Yeah, I like that from Espionage, and great round from Iceberg, just taking all the control outside, swinging through main, finding all the kills. Now I get to see him, though, gokushima, with that AWP, as you mentioned. This is the player that we're getting hyped up about. He's going to be starting in towards main, so potentially going for a peek, but door just going to get blown, and no one showing a face yet. Ooh, gokushima wants to get active, and he finds the opening kill into Iceberg.
Yeah, I love that. You've also got the rifler in support as well, just in case he gets into trouble. And he's already repositioned, silent down the vent. But this isn't going to change the plans of Espionage. They want to hit A. They've done the outside smokes as a little bit of a false sense of security for forZe. They have to go and address that, which is why gokushima's rotated down. But the design remains the same. They want to go upper right now.
Pretty decent defensive setup with Result up on the rafters rather than Hut, although Celta now actually is going to come up here, so the Molotov might be doubly disruptive. Great responsive incendiary. The HE brings Celta down low too. The moment's just a battle of utility, and another smoke lands forward. The flashbang is good. The spray from Celta trying to find something, but they've dropped vent. At least one player has. The other two can't quite find the entrance. That smoke causing some issues. But there's two players down lower, and the bomb is isolated. Tania finds Lucky as well. This one's starting to fall apart for Espionage. gokushima almost catching the timing. The Quest is spotted with the bomb.
Really good push as well by Tania, just in towards ramp. As soon as the distraction's being taken, as soon as Espionage are trying to get down the vent, they get caught off guard by a push, and in fact, he doubles down on it. And with this bomb just being so isolated, with the utility that was thrown as a response, and the fact that Espionage couldn't get down the vent has really hindered their progression. Cabby, sure, you've got the A site, but yeah, again, you've lost your brother in arms who's down below. Good kills. 10 seconds, a fake drop, and that's trying to invite Celta to have a little bit of a peek, but he's played it absolutely perfectly. Waits for the moment where he can swing. He gets both of them. And forZe, they will finally capitalize on a round. They get it when all the guns come out with all the utility, just delaying Espionage in their plans.
Yeah, Cabby with a nice couple of kills at the end, but not enough to pull that one back. That was just great responsive utility. I think that smoke was actually really problematic for Espionage, the one that was dropped by forZe, because it landed very deep towards the door. And despite the conversation we had about big smokes, it ended up not really fully covering the vent. And despite the bomb getting down, the other two couldn't really get to the vent. Happens to the best of us. forZe get on the board, and it's gokushima's initiative with the opener that sets them in the position to take it. shalfey might be the one that gets the first fight as he's playing out towards red. Need to get active, fight around it, but Mr. and Iceberg are going to be here, ready for him. A flashbang over, and I don't know about you, Brandon, but my feed is frozen. But there's 2 kills, 1 each way.
Oh, okay. And then Tanir hits the instantaneous trade. There's a lot of moving pieces going on here, and we'll touch on it in a moment because gokushima's about to receive pressure, doesn't take the shot, but sees the jump, and then Lucky goes back forward for another one. So that's confirmed intel at the very least. Gokushima's still alive. He gets mollied out, flashbang forward, and the smoke is shrouding and protecting him for the moment. This is a little bit of an awkward encounter here for Lucky and Cabby. Gokushima just trying his best to stay alive, hoping that Tanir can come in and support him. Another flash throw, he's just going to go through. Cabby waiting and will find this orb, so patience prevails.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that there was a bit of a gap there where he could maybe hit a close no-scope on a player in the corner, and the idea was actually really good. Cabby was in that position, but Gokushima never fires off the shot because the smoke never gives him space. Cabby still has a bit of utility, so he can smoke off double. They can plant open if they wish to. Oh, great Molotov. Is that going to spread on the result? Yes, it is. It's going to flush him forward into the fight. He's staying alive at the moment. Quest with that bomb knows he needs to plant it. He's got teammates to support him, but Lucky loses that fight. Bomb planted, and Cabby, a quick flick onto result, gives it the 2-on-2.
I like this as well. They're grouping up, and now they're fighting in towards ramp. They understand that a player's here in Tanir, but they should be swinging together. This is a little bit messy out of Espionage, but they still make it work. Zelta hasn't got a kit, so just taps the bomb, tries to draw them out of the positions, understands where both of them are. Quez low, bursts up to the chopping block, and goes back for more. It's Zelta, and he will clutch up and defuse. forZe barely hold on.
Yeah, Super Sen in Celta. What a great 1v2. No kit, but knew he could just bait them out. I will say I think they swung a little bit too quickly. You can definitely play the time there, knowing that, you know, you've got at least 5 seconds before you have to swing. They just think they can take that fight, knowing exactly where he is. forZe clutch it out, despite Espionage's best efforts. That was with them being able to isolate Gokushima as well and remove that threat. The Espionage played a really nice mid-round in terms of getting back from that 3-on-4. Every time they lost that kill, you know, there's a 3-on-2 at one point. The trade was there. They were able to get into a better position. Just not quite able to close it out at the end. And that was with actually really great spacing up towards ramp when they were fighting 2-on-1 there. But when they came back down into the 2-on-1 into Celta, couldn't quite emulate those efforts.
It's interesting watching forZe, though, because what they're doing is conditioning, hey, we're going to be up in your face, we're going to be taking these early fights, and it's going to come on all areas of the map. We've seen it initially with Gokushima pushing in towards Squeaky. This round, he started out towards ramp, but it was shalfey taking the initiative over towards red. So forZe are more than happy to take these early fights. Is that going to pressure Espionage back? Are they going to rest a little bit over towards spawn? Are they going to be holding a little bit longer? Or is now forZe going to just reset? Are they going to be the ones that go, okay, well, we've shown, hey, look, we pushed on an eco, we took silo. We've now got aggressive in towards Squeaky, we've gone outside. In the mid-round, we've pushed ramp. The pressure's on you. You have to try and breach our defense now. We're going to turtle up, we're going to establish crossfires, especially with lesser weaponry. You can imagine Result goes onto the top hut with the XM. It's a very interesting game already being played, already being forged just in 5 rounds, because there's a lot more going on than just what's happening on the screen. It's all mind games kicking off Nuke.
Yeah, I like the decision to bring out the auto shotgun here. You know that Espionage's money is not going to be great after losing 2 consecutive, despite the... Also, yeah, 2... 1. Yeah, 2. Despite the bomb plant, you know, the most they're probably going to have is maybe some armored pistols. Potentially, you could get a hero rifle or 2 out, but you're not expecting a full gun round here. So chance for the auto shotgun to do some work.
I'd actually buy this because the interesting thing is, you know, the money's low, and you know that probably we've killed the majority of players in the previous round. It came down to a 1 versus 2, and the round just gone. You understand that Gokushima potentially doesn't have an AWP. There is a viable argument for buying in, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay. They're going to get the AKs, they're going to get the Galils. It's a much more even fight than it first appears.
Not so bad, then. We still hope to see that shotgun do some work. We Resalt's going to go in towards Hut with it, in fact, so he can get a close angle. Shalfey playing around the smoke outside as well. You know that when you walk through these now, you're a little bit more easy to see. Trying to get that shadow on the edge of it, so walking through smokes is a little bit trickier now, which I think does change the dynamic to how outside plays a bit on Nuke, because there's a lot of smoke pushing that goes on usually.
Speaking of different dynamics, yet again, we've got another setup from forZe. We've got Tanir that starts down secret. Shalfey has moved over in towards main. And Gokushima has just mollied off the trophy room, which is essential because players are here. Already felt the pressure before, and now wants to do it again. This time passes it with a bit more ease. Hoping for even more, and they line up for him. That's fantastic from Gokushima, and forZe on the right direction to equalize the scoreline.
That just looked too easy for Gokushima, and he didn't even do anything too particularly pretty there. His flashbang, in fact, I think it missed. I think it bounced above the boost boxes rather than going through the door, but still got a good timing onto the player, setting up utility on the corner, and then just peeks at the perfect time. Lines them up. Nice little ramp hold. Gets the 3K. That's a play you don't want to see getting online. Iceberg finding that kill over towards Secret has given them an opportunity. They've brought it back into a 2-on-3. But missed up. Wide swinging, not quite going to work out as well as it used to. Gives up his life for free, but you can see why time is low and they had to take some space. Iceberg just has to save.
Yeah, and good mid-rounding as well there for forZe. Even just the simple things of the XM is holding from trophy. So Gokushima can pivot and already just focus his entire attention on towards Hell, play an off angle that Iceberg will be a little bit hard pressed to win that gunfight if he comes in earlier. And he can do that because Celta's already rotated down, even though the secret player was removed early in the form of Tanir. So good communication, good setup as well from forZe. They lock in that round, and now the money was completely gone for Espionage, bar this saved AK. This time it will only be the pistols, and the CT side can take the lead potentially for the first time this game.
See what Iceberg can do with that saved rifle. It's currently posted outside. There's support from Silo with the Deagles. Just want to send this AK in, looking for headshots. Not putting anything out just yet. Very defensive setup. Actually, Shalfey's just holding for anyone wrapping into main, occasionally checking that red cross. Smoke comes on through, so he's going to suspect something's going on. Celta now has to step in and try and support. You've got a player in heaven who can provide Overwatch too, so pieces of forZe are responding. Shalfey gets a bit of information on where this AK is and is able to find Lucky on the swing.
Look at this, though. It's still a little bit confusing here for Espionage because they just keep running into all these different players. Gokushima's even come over to make sure that things can't get out of hand, and if that goes a little bit to waste, you've still got Celta in towards main. So there's a lot of layering here. And yet again, it comes back what we're saying. Good discipline from forZe in this round. They know the money's not going to be great. So rather than going for these aggressive peaks, this time it's a lot further back. You're trying to take these long-range fights. You've got players in support should you need it. It's a well-managed round. And it feels like the communication is flowing. Orb comes back out for Gokushima. Lucky yet to really have one on the server. Yet again, still without one. Just AK. A lot of utility. And instantaneous smokes being thrown outside for Espionage.
Gokushima, though, wants to get active with that AWP outside, so he'll be there to fight them. Not over towards round. One player crossing Iceberg, wanting to get over quickly. Shalfey's found the first fight on the mister, and Gokushima hits the shot through the smoke. One back from Cabby. Gokushima's feeling the pressure. Quez wins out that fight onto Celta that was taking place at door, and these are kills going back and forth so fast that suddenly we're in a 2-on-2. I like this response from forZe. Take lobby control. Group up as a unit.
I feel like with the kill coming through the smoke, I don't think forZe are aware that the bomb's actually completely dropped and there isn't a safe passage at the moment for Espionage to go and retrieve
push,
it. You
though.
can see, yeah, Tanir's pushing, so he could potentially find this. No one is looking this way right now for Espionage because they've taken Heaven control instead. Tanir finds it, and you can see the immediate response. Resalt's now going to come in. They're going to group together for this 2 versus 2.
I wonder if he can't really go up on the T-roof. Has to just walk along so he doesn't make the noise. The issue is, okay, you found the bomb. by itself, and there's no teas about. That is a very odd situation to find yourself in. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, am I being flanked? Where are they? And now you get an idea. You hear this footsteps, iceberg coming through. Flashbang is good. It's a little delayed, but it still arrives at the right time. The result in towards main can still end it all. Cabby seems somewhat aware, and he's going to swing around, dropping on down. The bomb gets through. Iceberg charging on down to single. Going to make his way to the side, but Result hot on his heels. Going to swing the door and kind of safe, but sees a little bit sticking out, and that's enough for Result. A 3K in the round and 5 on the board for forZe.
Yeah, really good positioning there from Result. Just making sure you can see, as soon as the bomb spotted by Tanir, he comes back in towards Trophy. He's holding the lobby cross at the same time, still worried about players that could be flanking outside, because that's the space that was initially lost. And as soon as Tanir takes the contact, also being supported, Espionage with that flashbang, it's confirmed into, okay, well, both of them are towards main, both of them are towards outside. I can just slide in towards this vent. If they come A, I've got a good angle to spray them down on the cross. If they come vent, or even better, because they're probably not going to clear me. The latter happens. And then from there, it's about applying the pressure. A lot of players would have taken that extremely slowly, but not Result. He jumps down the vent. He gives over the audio cue. He puts the pressure. Hey, I'm chasing you. You have to plant this bomb. The pressure, the time, it's running out. Really well done. Because that round definitely could have spiraled out of control, especially when all the kills come through in such a quick manner. You've got players that have lost deep outside control. gokushima's pressured completely by himself, given over Garage. That had a lot of potential to go wrong, but forZe, by grouping up, and then by knowing the information, really just work it in their favor.
And a slight positioning mistake when playing the bomb as well, just being revealed towards Squeaky or Single. I like Gokushima being very active in different parts of the map. This time he starts upper, looking in towards Hut. He's fallen back towards Hell now. A lot of control being conceded. Oh, that's the bomb by itself. Trying to wrap onto ramp. The forZe quick to respond. Gokushima's starting position actually works out quite well for him. Even though eventually gets run down, it doesn't matter. They just lose the one player, and they survive against Tech 9s.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Just a lot of variation. It feels like forZe have played a different setup that has been dynamic in every single one of these CT-sided rounds, and it keeps Espionage guessing, and it keeps them thinking, well, what's the solution here? Because they've pushed outside a number of times. This time they try to get active. They try to get in the face of forZe, maybe being caught out, crossing towards red box. But instead, yet again, it's a fairly passive setup, which nets a success. AK's back in again. Again, notably, no bomb plants in the last 2 rounds for Espionage, which means no sniper rifle. Gokushima is yet again completely uncontested in this area of the field. Blows away the smoke, does see one, but misses the shot.
Has support from Shalfey, though, coming through quickly. A flashbang over the top, and he's able to swing up for that kill. Can throw the HE and back out. His threat of his presence alone is enough. Gokushima can now take a few little peeks through. Spots out another arm. Oh, dear. Just about gets away. Might still be hunted down here. So low, and Cabby is eventually able to find him. Looking for a second, but Salter's response is fast. Espionage find themselves 2 players down to forZe's 4. Going to be giving Ramp a go. Tania is here. Leading to a bit of an off angle, and Quez clears it perfectly. Lucky is still isolated with the bomb. forZe look like they actually want to go to him. I think he's been spotted on that cross, surely. Yeah, look at the way they're locking down this angle. Lucky, this is not great. The flames come forward, and he meets his maker.
It's so well done. Quez in this now 1 versus 3. It feels impossible. You've now got to clear angles, crossfires that have been established, and in essence, you can also just swing this if you shalfey. Yeah, again, look, you go into the 3 versus 2, you give over the space at ramp, and what's your reaction? Well, we need to take space, and guess what? We're going to do it together. Double push this time in towards Squeaky, but before that, even before that, you've got the setup of Gokushima taking all the presents, flashing for the player's secret, and as soon as, I think it was Shalfey that got that first kill, completely runs away. Hey, guess what? Celta's in at main. He's also holding Squeaky. He can block that off with a smoke. He can also support gokushima if things go a little bit awry, which they ended up doing in Garage. But there's first responders on the scene for this CT side that can completely counter everything. Again, aggression. You're not expecting that if you're Iceberg. See you later.
That's great. Just getting ahead of the smokes as they land. Just that first spawn there to fight. Gets the kill free and can fall back thanks to the T-smokes. forZe are feeling comfortable. You can really tell by the maneuvers that they're going for across the map. They're not feeling the pressure at all like they were in those first few rounds. They're settling in, dictating the fights they want to take. Espionage keep having to play from these disadvantageous positions. Have managed to get 2 players down secret. See that forZe are questioning outside. They don't have the full idea on where they're at. But the bomb is separated. It's 2 separate packs for Espionage.
Really good setup as well right now over towards ramp because you've got a rifle that's pushed in very far, but waiting for the contact to gokushima that's at long range with the sniper. 45 seconds. Now Secret needs to be addressed. gokushima just has a little peek, doesn't see anything. Flashbang at Squeaky. What a shot out of Result. And shalfey even finds Cabby for further damage. That pushed up ramp position coming into a success story. Yet again, Espionage. No bomb. No time, but kills have been found in the feed at the very least. Instantaneous trades yet again. That's the name of the forZe game. shalfey being dynamic. It's never just a 1 versus 1.
Yeah, hitting a nail on the head there. It's always that extra presence from forZe. Espionage get the kill. They feel like they've managed to fight something back, and then suddenly that extra swing comes through. Oh, we saw a Zeus. Last round and a half. Not sure it's going to get a use, but love the Zeus change. I'm a big Zeuser myself, so great to see it in play. And I think on Nuke, it's actually great for the CT side because of HUT. So I expect to see it earlier on in halves in the future because you can reuse it, obviously.
We're getting aggressive again outside. This time being led with the AWP. gokushima finds Iceberg. He has been the victim of so many of these first deaths. shalfey gets spammed just a little bit, but pressure potentially going to be applied to ramp, and Tanir on a slight off angle here. Has even got support. Look, gokushima's rotated over.
It's got here so quickly too. Now you can just lock it in. Tanir can go elsewhere. You got the AWP on ramp, and gokushima, he's fighting his mark today. Espionage might be ending this half with just 3 rounds, which can be enough if you get off to a strong start on the CT, but you lose that pistol and you're in a very sad position. Going outside, and shalfey is down towards Secret. Selter is at main. Plenty of pieces, but shalfey peeks on up. Is able to get away with his life spotted, and his presence is going to deny entrance to Secret.
I don't know. Looking from that, I don't know how he got out of there, but Selter, he stays in there, trapped in main. But in fact, he just trapped in with Selter. Tanir locks it up. It is 9-3 dominance from forZe.
It was Espionage's map pick, but it was forZe's playground as they look dominant on the CT side of Nuke, with gokushima finding all of his shots and shalfey, the stand-in, shining bright.
Yeah, I thought he'd be a good addition when I saw the announcement, at least on a substitute basis, and it is really proving to be that way. Look, Espionage, they can still get back in this game. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Already won the pistol in the first half. Now looking to do the same here. Layered peek against Iceberg. And suddenly that's going to push forZe onto the accelerator, swinging around the corner. But it's Selta that doubles down. He finds all of the kills on the bomb site. It's open for forZe.
Yeah, he's been doing so well. After that mechanical 3K to close it out. Opens it up with a double here. Cabby flying in from the heavens. Mr. gets one as well, and they're doing damage. But it is a 2-on-3 now. Cabby's dual Berettas. They're looking deadly, but not for long. Quez has to step up. No kid in play. Selta's low, and Selta swings. How does he win that fight? He makes it look like last patch. And forZe get the pistol.
How does he hit that shot? That is ridiculous. It was the right idea with the dual Berettas at the back of the bomb site as well. Just in your face, taking these shots. We're in a 2 versus 4. We need to close the gap. And Selta just does that. He's that guy right now for forZe. And they win the pistol and they take a step closer just to locking in Espionage's map pick. Full eco. They want the guns. They want the weaponry. And well, forZe want ramp and they'll get it. It's a stack on A. And they completely avoid it.
Okay, they are going to rotate down, so maybe Selta can feed his bloodthirst that continues as he farms them up with the MAC-10, stops the dual Berettas, eventually felled. He's done his job. 19 for 5 and 11 for forZe. They are running away with Nuke.
It's so funny because I described Selta as this player that kind of is in the background. No, he's stepping up into the limelight right now. Performing exceptionally well, and perhaps it's this mentality of we've got nothing to lose. I'm going to showcase my talents, running over Espionage right now. Yet again, no money for this orb. That's been a consistent piece of the puzzle for Espionage. No orb for Lucky. Consistently.
It's not his hands on it once, it's the entire map. Oh, fast cross outside. Cabby is going to spot one, but is he going to be ready for shalfey, having already got over? Probably not. Racy, 2 players just brazenly running across with no utility.
Yeah, they don't know. They do not know whatsoever. So he can keep going here. Quez tucking in towards ramp. An important fight he needs to win, but gets ticked by the molly. Doesn't matter. Selta doesn't hear him. Gokushima will find one back, but they still need to deal with Quez, who's tucked in just below the ramp. Finally will be traded out, and they know that they've got shalfey down here, which is finally a nasty surprise for Iceberg. A 3 versus 2. forZe will turn this back around.
Yeah, it's so good. You win at the ramp fights, the immediate response to Espionage is to drop an extra player down to support, and you are not ready for shalfey in the vents. But there he goes again, catching a player. And it's all on to Mr., who has to save. You can't go for this one. So forZe are going to find themselves out on map point. That's going to be 12 rounds in a row for forZe. Worth noting as well. This is the 3-0 start from Espionage, and they looked explosive out the gate as well. They look so strong in those opening 3 rounds. And forZe are like, you know what? We've had our monster. We're ready to go.
This round could have also been played out in 2 different ways. Because shalfey could have come through control room. He could have been taking the initial contact on towards ramp. Instead, because they have the numbers there already for us, shalfey, who's the IGL, says, actually, I'll wait. I'll be the fawn in Espionage's back. You just win out your gunfights. Make sure that you go and trade. And that has been the key feature piece of this entire map. It was 13-8 for Espionage when these 2 teams last met off at this event in the open qualifier. And suddenly, it is a complete role reversal. It is 2 M4s. That's all that Espionage got to show for themselves to keep themselves alive on their map pick.
It's domination right now, isn't it? 4 AKs and M4A1S. forZe have everything just to close this out. denying Espionage around on the CT side. Espionage, the team that came through in the open qualifier, looking so strong. forZe looking like they want to take full advantage of their second chance to qualify for IEM Chengdu.
Tania just lurking. They've dropped the diagonal smokes. Molly goes through, won't affect him, he just stands in the smoke and actually backstabs Cabby. Now all the attention's going to be pulled outside, and that's exactly what forZe want, because they want to hit onto the upper bomb site. Iceberg now caught in between two different angles, and the Molly, it's well placed. He can't even progress further, and now completely isolated. Celta with one, and then Iceberg's just run into his death through the flames. 4 versus 2, this one looks over.
I don't think you can see the player in hut through the flames. They're so difficult to catch anything through. And it's lucky. 1 versus 4. Not going to be living up to his namesake, it would seem. Kit, a flashbang, and M4, and this guy's not giving you the fight, Lucky. Time is ticking. If you want a chance, you have to fight into A. Have to find these players. You've spotted the head of one, and gokushima takes yours straight back. forZe, with 13 rounds in a row, take the opening map 13-3.
Absolutely dominant from forZe, and we came into this and we said, look, Espionage, maybe this new patch will benefit them. You can hold angles a lot easier. The fact is we didn't even really